Hailey Bieber is finally clapping back at the accusations that she's a stalker, obsessed with Selena, and even used witchcraft to steal Justin. Yes, witchcraft, we're going there. But just as she graces the cover of Vogue, leave it to Justin to hijack the spotlight with an emotional Instagram caption, dropping the bombshell that he once told Hailey she'd never be on the cover in the first place. Timing, anyone? However, the universe must work in Hailey's favor because that same week it's announced that e.l.f. has acquired Rhode in a massive $1 billion deal. And of course, what's a Bieber saga without a cameo from Selena Gomez? Just when reports surfaced that she reportedly blocked Hailey's brand from entering Sephora, she suddenly re-emerges with a redemption arc, now claiming she supports the very woman she once shaded for coming after her best friend. The media, naturally, keeps fueling the Hailey is obsessed with Selena narrative because why break the cycle? It's always a full-blown circus with the Biebers, especially after my last video where I exposed how the media is waging a black propaganda war against them. From clickbait headlines to breakup rumors that don't match reality, the agenda is loud. And now, we've got new rumors that Justin is broke, beefing with his team, and possibly spiraling. Brace yourself, this one's messy, let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to Scandalous Media. It's Angela here, and the Bieber drama continues. As you guys know, we've had you covered through it all, from the viral 7-part stalker documentary which we successfully tackled, to all the drama with Hailey and Selena on social media. The PhD in Bieberology truly comes in hand. Before we begin, be sure to like and subscribe for new videos each week. Let us know what other videos you'd like to see from us. Follow us on our social media. And yes, we are still trying to get Instagram back. The devil works hard, but Instagram works harder. And check out scandalousmedia for inside celebrity tea stemming over 12 years. As always, there are video chapters available. Now, let's get into the drama. Hailey's big moment and Justin's sudden confession. You have to be a special kind of clueless to turn your wife's Vogue moment into a confession about a fight where you told her she'd never make it, and somehow that ends up making people finally feel bad for her. Just a few months ago, the internet was all in on the Hailey's a stalker narrative, calling her a clout-chasing witch who trapped Justin and built her personality around his ex. But with one overly personal caption, Justin flipped the entire script. He literally shut down the Hailey hate train by hijacking her spotlight and going, "Hey babe, remember when I told you you'd never be on Vogue because you're a loser? Well, congrats." Okay, maybe he didn't say those exact words, but he might as well have. Now people are suddenly calling him toxic and saying she deserves better. Imagine fumbling that hard and still doing your wife a favor. He posted her Vogue cover and wrote, "Yo, this reminds me when Hailey and I got into a huge fight. I told Hales that she would never be on the cover of Vogue. Yikes, I know, so mean. For some reason, because I felt so disrespected. I thought I gotta get even. I think as we mature, we realize that we're not helping anything by getting even. We're honestly just prolonging what we really want, which is intimacy and connection. So baby, you already know, but forgive me for saying you wouldn't get a Vogue cover, cause clearly, I was sadly mistaken."
Okay, so there's some education that needs to be done. I can see that.
The fact that Hailey being on Vogue made him recall a fight between them to paint himself as the bad guy and reveal all that to us should let you know exactly how Justin operates. But if you can't figure it out, then allow me, as someone who has covered this man for over 12 years. While Justin has been a victim of a lot in his life with people taking advantage of him and being screwed over by the industry, Hailey has always been there to pick him up when he fell down, and this was something that was evident from the very beginning of their friendship. Justin has this pattern, whether he realizes it or not, of slipping into a bit of a martyr mindset. He'll share something deeply emotional or self-deprecating in a way that's meant to be vulnerable, but it often ends up centering him, even in the moments that aren't about him at all. It's like he wants to show he's hurting too, or that he's been through so much, which fair, but sometimes it shifts the focus away from the people around him, like Hailey, and makes everything orbit around his struggle, and instead of landing as sincere, it sometimes reads like emotional damage control dressed up as a confession. This is why he's always been so quick to be like, "Look at me, I'm the bad guy, please forgive me, I'm trying to do better." And because he's not the most literate with words, it always reflects badly on him, and it always reflects like he needs to do more therapy. If you followed up with Justin throughout the years, you know that grammar is not his strong suit. And the fact that in his confession he says, "I was sadly mistaken," when he likely meant "I was sorely mistaken," is proof of that. Over the years, Justin's been pretty open about trying to grow from his past, whether it's through therapy, faith, or public statements about accountability. He's talked about his mistakes, apologized for the way he treated people, including in past relationships, and tried to present himself as someone learning to do better. There is this clear effort to lean into acceptance, not just of others, but of himself. But the issue is, when Justin shares these moments publicly, they don't always land the way he intends. To his fans, it's maybe vulnerability. To the rest of the internet, it's often read as manipulation, or worse, emotional damage control. And because his lowest moments were so public and so intense, from the reckless behavior in his early 20s to the blurred lines in past relationships, there's a huge chunk of the public that's ready to frame everything he does now through that old lens. So even when he's trying to show growth, a lot of people just see someone who's still toxic, still selfish, still centering himself in every narrative. It's a lose-lose situation. When he says nothing, he's checked out. When he says too much, he's love bombing or gaslighting. And while accountability is important, there's a difference between healthy criticism and a constant public flogging. And Justin's trapped in a cycle where he rarely gets the benefit of the doubt. That's exactly what happened with the Vogue post. Justin probably thought he was being honest, showing how far they've come as a couple. Like, look at you now, babe, despite what I once said. In his mind, that's accountability, that's growth. But to everyone else, it read like a guy casually reminding his wife that he once crushed her dreams, in public, on her big day, and called it a compliment. Instead of people applauding his honesty, it backfired. He unintentionally painted Hailey as the woman who had to fight for her worth, even in her own marriage. And in that moment, the internet that once mocked her suddenly felt sorry for her. The thing is, Justin doesn't have to say everything out loud, and definitely not to millions of people on Instagram, but the fact that he does, that he feels the need to explain, reflect, and confess in such public ways often makes it feel like he's trying to prove something, both to himself and everyone watching. And it's complicated because it's obvious that he does love Hailey. In fact, in that same Vogue feature, the one that reignited the Justin is toxic discourse, he sent an email to the writer with a simple, heartfelt line. "I've done a lot of dumb things in my life, but the smartest thing I've ever done was marry Hailey." Justin is always trying to be real with his marriage, but when these tender moments are constantly paired with stories of past fights or emotionally loaded congrats, the message gets lost. People don't hear the love, they hear the baggage, and sometimes letting her have her moment without the commentary would say more than any caption ever could. So while Justin's heart might be somewhere in the mix, the way he delivered that moment felt more self-centered than supportive. He made Hailey's win about his own guilt, again, and accidentally turned a sweet milestone into a public therapy session. After everyone and their mother dragged Justin, he changed the caption to 4 emojis: a man shrugging, a pointing emoji, a heart, and happy tears emoji. He really cracks me up. He is in his own little world, and honestly, no one else lives there. God bless. For someone who's been in the industry for this long, you'd think he'd know how to work with the public. He shouldn't be surprised at how people interpreted his caption as offensive rather than supportive, and you could tell he's surprised at the reaction because of his shrugging emoji and pointing at the public like, what was wrong with that? A source close to the Biebers told Page 6 that it was his way of saying, "I'm sorry for doubting you, congratulations." That's all it was. Hailey knows his personality. And just when the spotlight was finally shifting in Hailey's favor, someone else decided to pop back into the conversation. Yup, Selena Gomez. After years of tension, subtle digs, and behind-the-scenes drama, she's now being tied to what looks like a carefully timed public congratulations? Coincidence? PR move? Or the beginning of her next rebrand? Let's get into it. Act 3. Selena's redemption arc begins. Right as Hailey's Vogue cover was going viral, with her opening up about the challenges of her pregnancy, including heavy bleeding, and Justin unintentionally sparking a whole TikTok trend where women asked their boyfriends if they'd ever be on the cover of Vogue to get their reaction, Selena decides to post this on her story. It's a quote that reads, "You matter, your voice matters, your heart matters, you are worth so much more than you know." And she captioned it saying, "You know who you are and I'm cheering you on." This came directly after she liked Sephora and Rhode's joint post announcing their partnership and that Rhode will be coming to Sephora in the fall. So of course, everyone was like, she's directly speaking to Hailey. This also comes after Puck News originally revealed this in January, revealing that Selena is the reason Rhode and Sephora's partnership took so long to finalize, citing a high-level source that confirmed Selena was definitely the reason for the delay. After Selena liked the post and posted that on her story, her fans were quick to run rampant with viral tweets saying that Selena was never the problem because she's supportive of Hailey, even though it was that same narrative that got Hailey called a stalker when she would like supportive posts of Selena. People also felt like this was Selena's way of doing damage control, since people were starting to notice her online patterns and role when it comes to Hailey being destroyed online, as I discussed in my video about the Bieber smear campaign, where it was exposed that someone was paying creators to hate on Hailey. This is something that Vogue even makes mention of. And now that Hailey also hit back at the stalker allegations and the whole forcing Justin to fall in love with her when she trolled the haters in her Vogue video, people were starting to point the finger at Selena.
I really just use them for a lot of the simple stuff, like surfing anonymously, commenting, stalking, viewing girls' pages, making multiple accounts, you know, that kind of thing. My dad flew me to go meet with this witch who lived in the mountains, and she made this specifically for me. She told me that it would make a young Canadian pop star fall in love with me. So yeah, been taking this one for years. Absolutely love it.
After people were once again questioning Selena's role, she subtly replied back, posting this photo on her story captioned, "Me trying to see the F's I don't give," followed up with the photo of her sleeping, writing, "mood." Basically, I'm so unbothered, I don't care what you guys are saying. But here's the thing, if you're really that unbothered, why are you making sure we all know just how unbothered you are? Something's not adding up. She then proceeded to repost an old video of her and Ariana Grande from February and captioned it, "I'm reminded that women can always be supportive of each other. I love you, Ari." Then she posted a video of Taylor Swift preaching. Then she posted a picture of Miley captioned, "Everything," with heart emojis. Someone was trying to get multiple fan bases on her side. Whether or not you're a Selena sympathizer, you can't tell me she didn't know what she was doing. The fact that she turned into a random fan account for a few hours because she was baiting praise from Ariana, Taylor, and Miley stans is truly hilarious. And shortly afterward, Dumois posted that Selena DM'd Hailey after the Vogue drama and Justin's chaotic caption, and that Hailey accidentally opened her DM and freaked out, calling Kylie Jenner for backup. They claimed that because of their exchanged DMs, Selena posted that initial story saying, "You know who you are." I don't know what's more believable, the fact that Dumois apparently knew down to the detail of how Hailey moves her fingers on her phone, or if this story is true, then how much of a savior complex does Selena have? It's kind of ridiculous. What do you guys think? Well, now let's talk about what Hailey actually said in her Vogue shoot that caused all this drama. Hailey's Vogue confession, the shade, the subtext, the truth. In her latest Vogue cover story, Hailey finally opens up about the emotional toll of fame, motherhood, and the online obsession with her every move. And yes, she subtly addresses the Selena Gomez narrative, the rumors of divorce, and becoming the woman haters didn't see coming. The article discusses the rise of Rhode and how it elevated her from the wife of a very famous and successful person to a very famous and successful person in her own light. After Justin put his music career on pause in 2022 by canceling the remainder of the Justice tour, the dynamics shifted, and Vogue notes that it was Rhode that kept them in the public eye, with Justin becoming her supporting act in some way. About the public scrutiny regarding her marriage, Vogue acknowledges the internet's obsession with Justin's relationship to Selena, and the fact that someone is reportedly paying to keep the hate campaigns alive, as we explored in my video about the Bieber smear campaign. Hailey says that after becoming a mother, she's found newfound strength, saying that there is an ease that comes with it, a confidence. You really start to give less of an F about so many things. You're just like, I don't have the time actually, I don't have the energy. She says that she's done trying to convince people who have the wrong idea about her. Justin writes to Vogue saying that Hailey is an easy target because she's in the spotlight and has the attention because of her effortless knack for style, business, art, and fashion, and the way she makes being a mom and wife look easy. Hailey says that Jack is her biggest priority and that motherhood has been the biggest teacher in her relationship with Justin because you end up seeing your partners so differently and you empathize with parents more. She opens up about parenting with Justin and says that he's an amazing dad. She opens up about the internet's obsession with the downfall of her marriage, saying, "I feel like I've fought so hard to try to get people to understand me or know who I am or see me for me, and people just don't want to sometimes. And there's nothing you can do about that. I've been in a position where I've tried to tell my side of a story or correct a narrative or tell the truth of a lie, and then they go, well, she's lying. Imagine how trapping that feels." She opens up about Justin being supportive and his advice to her, saying, "I've learned so much from Justin, really. He's been doing this literally since he was a child, and he has had to face the most scrutiny of any person that I know. He was like, 'Baby, trust me, I've been here before many, many times. You're not going to win. There is no winning.'" About the lies surrounding her marriage, she says, "It's not real, and that's the thing. I have a real life. My real life is that I get to wake up to my beautiful family, and my son, and my friends, and I have people that know me and love me, and I love them." She says that it's taken a lot of therapy to get there, and she suffered a lot during her postpartum, and having people discuss her marriage during that sensitive time was definitely hard. When asked about the headlines that have taken over their life with stories about moving to Europe for Justin's mental health, that they are in crisis, or that he is manic, disengaged, disheveled, strange, and spiraling, Hailey smiles ruefully and looks away, saying, "I read that one. There's a new headline every 2 days that makes no sense. There's no leaving LA for us. We love it here." She also said that being postpartum is the most sensitive time I've ever gone through in my life, and learning a new version of myself is very difficult. And to be doing that all the while going on the internet every day and people being like, they're getting divorced and they're this and they're not happy, it is such a mindfuck. I cannot even begin to explain it. It's a crazy life to live. She says that with the paparazzi and how invasive people are, she and Justin have kept Jack shielded from it all, saying, "We don't take him to a lot of places. We don't want anyone to... I mean, you've just got to see how invasive it all is. It feels mean to put a baby into that." She opened up about facing intense postpartum body dysmorphia and feelings of self-hatred, and that she struggled with her body not bouncing back and gaining perspective by realizing that she's a different person now, physically and emotionally. She said that social media worsened her mental health and that she would sometimes seek out hateful comments for validation and then spiral. She said that giving birth was the hardest thing she's ever done, despite diligently prepping. She began leaking amniotic fluid at 39 weeks and was induced. The doctors used Pitocin, a medication that provokes contractions, and a Foley balloon. Hailey describes the experience saying, "That shit was so crazy. That was not fun. They broke my water, I went into labor, and I labored for a few hours. No epidural, nothing." She was in labor for 18 hours, and then when Jack was born, she was bleeding a lot. She was going through postpartum hemorrhage, saying that it was a little bit scary because people die and the thought crossed her mind. Justin has cited Hailey as grounding and a stabilizing force several times, writing to Vogue, "I've done a lot of dumb things in my life, but the smartest thing I've ever done was marry Hailey." When asked if she thought this vitriolic obsession with herself and her marriage would ever die down, she says, "Well, I thought 7 years in it would have already, and it hasn't. You would think after having a child, people would maybe move on, chill out a little bit. But no," she shrugs with a cheesy, "Who, me?" grin. "So I guess these bitches are going to be mad." Justin Bieber versus the media machine, black propaganda and money woes. Okay, so Justin's drama right now, it's not just about money, but rather making someone fall in line. Anyone who follows up with Justin knows that whatever he's doing right now, he's been doing for a hot minute. He didn't switch up out of nowhere, start smoking, and posting ugly photos on Instagram. That has been his brand for years, but the media is making you think there is a switch up in behavior, and I think part of it has to do with the Diddy trial. Justin's rep released a statement to TMZ saying, "Although Justin is not among Sean Combs' victims, there are individuals who were genuinely harmed by him. Shifting focus away from this reality detracts from the justice these victims rightfully deserve." If you guys have been following up with the blog, you know that our sources haven't really heard of Diddy being brought up when it came to Justin and his trauma, but rather there were other notable names. Check out that post linked below. But after Justin's fallout with his team and money issues that I also touched upon in the Bieber smear campaign video, I noticed that the media has been peddling this whole "what is going on with Justin Bieber" agenda as of late, with TMZ even releasing a whole documentary about it. I wish it were more investigative and credible, but it might have well been a TikTok series at this point. They talk about two main themes, money and Selena Gomez.
Money, 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 money.
TMZ claims that this feud with Selena is one-sided and Hailey is obsessed with her, saying it's in Hailey's head and it has to do with Hailey's perception of Selena. Now let's be clear. The facts speak for themselves. I'm not going to rehash Selena's public involvement. I've broken that down plenty of times before. But what is interesting is the push to frame this narrative a certain way, especially when the only one visibly engaging with it in public is Selena. She has a pattern of rage baiting, and it even extends to the Rhode deal. After Rhode announced its $1 billion acquisition by e.l.f., Rare Beauty conveniently tweeted, "Still here," alongside two photos of Selena blowing a kiss. The implication? That unlike Hailey, Selena still owns her brand. But here's the thing, that's not even accurate. This acquisition is a major win for Rhode, and it's common for successful brands to be acquired by larger parent companies. If anything, it's Rare Beauty who is reportedly struggling to find buyers. But after getting dragged on Twitter, Rare Beauty deleted the tweet. Now what we're seeing feels like mass gaslighting by the media, a textbook case of black propaganda. Every headline pushes a carefully crafted narrative, banking on the idea that if a lie is repeated often enough, it starts to sound like truth. Right now, the media's angle is to make Justin look unhinged, like he's spiraling or part of some cult just because he talks about God and redemption. But let's be real, this isn't new behavior. I follow Justin for years, I'm well aware of his bad choices and the questionable churches he's been involved with. Who do you think was leading that parade well over 7 years ago? But the way he's being portrayed now as someone who just turned to religion or someone who's going off the deep end and is preaching in his last days, meanwhile that's always who he was at his core, is sinister. Justin is clearly struggling with finding his place now with a whole new team and the consequences of his actions, like paying back his debt after pulling out of the Justice Tour. But it's also another Tuesday for Justin. That's who he always was. He was always smoking, he's always hated touring, he's always been pissed off at the paparazzi, and he's always posted visually unaesthetic photos on Instagram. I can't blame the public for thinking what they think about Justin because, as we saw from the Vogue caption, he can't help but add fire to it. But let's not ignore how the media consistently pushes a specific narrative. They spotlight every minor detail about his marriage in ways that wouldn't even make it to the sidebar if it involved anyone else. And that's the real conversation we should be having. Well, that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to like and subscribe for more. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. Follow us on social media. Check out scandalousmedia for inside celebrity tea. And as always, I'll see you next time.